Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings of Allah to all of you. And I met many people, especially the Christian community, especially the missionary people. And they do a great job. They talk about Christianity to the personal sailors. Wherever you go, they meet you and they take you to the missionary clubs and they discuss religion about you. And I had no knowledge. At that time, I was 19 years of age. And he took me to a missionary club and then he started discussing religion and I had no knowledge. So he asked me that you believe in Muhammad. I said, of course I believe in Muhammad. Then he asked me that your religious book is Quran. I said, yes, my religious book is Quran. Have you read the Quran? And I said, yes, I have read the Quran. So he said, have you read the Bible? So I said, I have not read the Bible. So he said, the Bible came before the Quran. And that is the knowledge I had at that time. I said, yes, that's true. So he said, Muhammad actually copied the Bible. He copied the Bible and made a Quran. So the knowledge is in the Bible, not in the Quran. Actually, the true source is the Bible. So at the age of 19 and 20, and people who are Muslims here, may understand in what position I was because I had read the Quran in Arabic language. And that is the majority of the people in the world who are non-Arabic speaking people can read the Arabic Quran without understanding a word of it. So he said, can you tell me something from the Quran so I can relate that incident or narration from the Bible because it is a copied. And I said, I cannot tell you anything. So he said, why can't you? You just said you read the Quran, and now you say you cannot tell me anything. So I had to explain to him, and which he could not understand what I'm talking about. He said, you can read the Quran, and you don't understand it? I said, yes. So he said, what do you mean you can read it? Yes, I said, I can read it. But I cannot understand it. Is it the language or what? The comprehension? I said, no, I cannot understand anything. I cannot understand anything. He thought that maybe the understanding is too difficult to understand. No, I said, no, I cannot understand anything. I just read the Arabic. And this is with the Muslim world all over the world, who are non-Arabic speaking people. So he said, well, the Arabs can understand? So I said, yes, the Arabs can understand because it's their language, they can understand. So at that time, my 19 or 20 years of age of understanding was that only Arabs can understand the Quran. Non-Arabs do not know anything. And that was my understanding. So I said, yes, the Arabs can understand the Quran because it is the Arabic language. And at the same time, I didn't even know at that time that there were many translations in the world. So I said, no, only Arabs can understand. So he said to me that we Christians have translated the Bible in 3,000 different languages of the world for you people to understand in your own language. What language you speak? I said, Urdu, you can speak. I can have a translation of the Quran in Urdu for you to understand. So this is the time, this is my time of opening my eyes in myself. That I am claiming to myself a Muslim of a nation, and I do not know a word of that book. A word of that book, what that book says. So he wanted to give me the Bible, I took the Bible. I don't have that Bible, but I have the Bible now. So I took the Bible, and he said, read the Bible. I said, I will read the Bible, but I am very ashamed now. I will read the Quran first. And I will read in translation, though at that time I still didn't know that it was in translation or available. And I will read in translation and try to understand what the Quran is. And if it's not the true, if it's a copycat, I will accept the Bible. For me, it's not a big deal that I come from a Muslim background, I should be a Muslim, or I should come from any background. I will change myself. But I will read it, understand it, and then take up a decision. Not before that, like for example, I hold in my hand a Bible. Believe me, you go and talk to any Muslim. This is the Bible. If I ask, I'm just telling you, if you ask any Muslim, this is a Bible, do you believe this Bible? What is in it? You will say no, even if you have not read it. Even if you have not read it, you will say no. Okay, this is the Quran. You have read in Arabic. You don't understand anything. You will say, I believe, I understand. Now this is not with the ignorant people, it is about the intellectuals I am talking about. The intellectual of the people who are learned people, who can understand, give big knowledge of many aspects of life. They don't know what the book is. And they will say, we know Quran? Oh, I believe. What's in it? They don't know. They don't know what's in it, they don't believe. So in other words, we are just lying to ourselves, saying that we are Muslims and we are Christians and whatever we are. The same goes with the Hindus, I suppose, same goes with the other religions as well. Majority of the people do not know their religions. They do not know their own books, and they don't want to find out even. This is what I have conclusively understood all my life of understanding of reading the Quran and other books as well. So then I started reading the Quran, and I slowly and gradually. Then I came to know that the people who are so-called people who are acclaimed to be scholars about religion, they are not true to the book, to their own books, in other words. Like a Muslim scholar, there are schools of thoughts. And if you ask them for any understanding, they will say, look, this is like this, this is like this, this is like this. And this is how it works. Not what it is. This is how it works in religion. So now, again, a confusion starts. So to understand, there is one thing, to understand what is true is not necessary that you repeat something number of times, it will become true. True is true. And false is false. But you have to understand how you have to understand what is true reality. Now, if there are people here who will say, I have read because I was in a Muslim family and I read the Quran and because I will accept the Quran. No. You see, there are verses in the Quran, how I came to know what is true and what is not true. So I'll just give you in my understanding. There are passages in the Quran, the verses in the Quran, which if I say today, if I or you or anyone in the world put this passage on himself and say, this is, I am saying these words. I will quote those verses, but before I say, I'm just giving an example. If I say something just right now, from here, all of you, whether what all mankind as such, wherever they are, they will listen to these words, what I'm going to say now, and everybody will, 100% normal, common, intelligent people will not agree what I said. 100% I'm talking about. To know the truth of reality is like this. If I say that the skies and the earth you all see, it is I who created. How do you take it? Anyone? Anyone? False. So there are statements in the book written in first person speech in the book Quran only, mind you. And nobody in the world can say those words and own it that I've done it. But it is in the Quran that we created the skies, we did this, we created you, we will put you to death, we sent Jesus, we sent Moses, we sent this and we sent that. And he's saying it, we did it. Do you not see the heavens and the earth? We did it. Who is this person continuously dictating mankind? I'm the one who is doing the job. So it is written on a piece of paper. So you analyze, can I say all these words? And can that verse be so perfect that you cannot contradict? Is it possible? It says with such authority that I'm going to put you to fire. Who can put you to fire? and I put to you to do this to you, and I've been doing this to you, and I've been sending these messengers, and I first person speech is only to be found in the Quran. And I'm asking all these people, who is the speaker? Everybody agrees that a man cannot say this. Who is the speaker in the book? Though it's a piece of paper written down, but with such authority and with such perfection, I still want to know who did it. If a group of people, of scientists, they say that the earth and the skies was 1 unit mass, that the Big Bang theory they talk about, they say it was 1 unit mass, and then it was dismantled. The Quranic ayah said, do not the unbelievers see that the skies and the earth was 1 unit mass? Then we split it. Who is this we? That he said, we did it. This continuous first person speaker, people read the Quran, and I'm amazed. The person who puts a charge, this is a man-written book. It is the most, you cannot prove it from anywhere. I'm open to question and answer when I finish. You ask me any question, how is it possible that a man can write with such authority? You yourself denied. A man cannot say these words, can never say these words, and can never be accepted by any man at any time. That a man say, we have done this, we have done this, we have created you, we'll put you to death, we'll put you back to life again. It is we are doing the job. And all the scientists put together will say that the scientist has come to a realization, this is how it works. Any scientific understanding, they come to a conclusion that how it works. Not they will own it and say, we did it. Like the Darwin theory, they say amoeba, other theories are that it went like this and this and this, then it happened like this, that this is how it works. But it is not that we, the scientists themselves put together, they won't say that we have done this. We found out how the nature works. So you can find out things how it works. But who is doing it? So you will say by logical reason there must be someone who is doing it. But the someone is talking in this holy book saying I am doing it, I am doing it, I am doing it. So this is how I was convinced by the book. And then I had to read the Bible also. And then I had to read some other books also. And believe me, though there is no such thing as the other things are not such in comparison to what Quran is. And without a change of a dot. And personally, I do not believe that this book was revealed 1400 years back. It is not in any verse in the book. It was there in the guidance for mankind. This book is attributed to Jesus. This book is attributed to Moses. This book is attributed to all the prophets. It is not a book 1400 years old. It's a man made it. New thing that you were surprised. A new thing. Why because I said people may get offended. You can ask me questions if afterwards. Because the Quran does not give a time era. And his words, if you first of all, if you are convinced this is God's book, then he is talking from all times. And he is giving the same message to everybody. To Moses, to Jesus, to Abraham, to Noah, and to us, to mankind. So there are copycats books, other books, like the tradition, the hadith, or even I would say Bible. There are portions which you assume that can be word of God, but it is not. Because Quran never claimed that there is a book before my book. If I am the author, if I am the author of the book, how can I write different books with contradictory statements? I will write one book, and especially God Almighty writes a book, one book, and in this book he said that this book is given to all the prophets. To all the prophets. When I say this, if you want to prove, I will show you and read you that the book was given to all the prophets, including Jesus, Moses, Noah, from Noah to Abraham and to down to Muhammad. One book. And on the day of judgment, one book will be placed with one message, with one laws. No different laws or change of laws, nothing changed. So this is one aspect that I have got difference with other people's reading of the Quran. The biggest difference, I would say. And it never changed. And I will read it, and you can read it for yourself. Any Quran of the world, what I am saying it, and Still people, you talk to them, they can't see it. I mean, that's the beauty of the Quran. You read something and you can't see it. Should I give you an example or you want to ask a question? Look, Surah Anam 6 and 83 verse. And I will read, and you can count, please count the names of the Prophet. It is only that we have to see this. وَتِلْكَ حُجَّتُنَا آتَيْنَاهَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ عَلَى قَوْمِهِ نَرْفَعُ دَرَجَاتٍ مَنْ نَشَاءُ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ حَكِيمٌ عَلِيمٌ. And that was the reasoning about us that we gave to Abraham to use against the people. We raised whom we will, degree after degree, for your Lord is full of wisdom and knowledge. This is a verse that God is saying, we, that was the reasoning about us that we gave to Abraham. Now, I'm not emphasizing here the we, I'm emphasizing the name Abraham is mentioned. The next verse says, وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ إِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ كُلًّا هَدَيْنَا وَنُوحًا هَدَيْنَا مِنْ قَبْلُ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِهِ دَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ وَأَيُّوبَ وَيُوسُفَ وَمُوسَى وَهَارُونَ وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. We gave him Isaac, number 2, and Jacob, all three, we guided them. And before we guided Noah, and Dawood, وَسُلَيْمَانَ وَأَيُّوبَ, and Yusuf, وَمُوسَى, وَهَارُونَ, and we reward those who are Mohsen. وَزَكَرِيَّا, Zechariah, وَيَحْيَا, John, Isa, Jesus, Elias, Elias. Kullu min as-salihin, they were from the righteous. Are you counting the names? Till here is 14. Then wa Ismail, Ismail. Wal Yasa. Ismail is Ismail Yasa. Wa Yunus is Jonas. Wa Lut, Lot. Wa kulna faddala al-alamin. And these were the people he raised above all nations. وَمِنْ آبَائِهِمْ, and from their ancestors, وَزُرِيَاتِهِمْ, from their offsprings, وَإِخْوَانِهِمْ, from their brethren, وَاجْتَبَيْنَاهُمْ, we selected them, وَهَدَيْنَاهُ, we guided them, إِلَى الصِّرَاطِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ, on the straight path. Now these are the 18 prophets name by name. I named those, you can count them 18. There it says, ذَلِكَ وَضَ اللَّهِ يَهْدِي بِمَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ وَلَوْ أَشْرَكُوا لَحَبِطَ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. That is the guidance of God. He gave the guidance to whom He pleases of His worshippers. If they were to join other gods with Him, all they did would be vain to them. Now the verse comes. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحُكْمَ وَالنُّبُوَّةَ. These were the men to whom we gave Al-Kitab, the book, and the wisdom, and the prophecy, prophethood. I read in, this is only one passage in the whole book Quran, which speaks of 18 prophets at one place. And he said, we gave them the book, singular, and we gave them al-hukum, the governance, and we gave them the prophethood. All of them. So all of them were given al-kitab, the book, and the governance, and the hukum, the governance. So this is the verse. Now, this is not only the one verse. I will give you 2-3 verses to make it more strong. There is 230 times. How many? 230 times the book is mentioned, the book. Al-Kitab. Which means, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That is a book which does not have a doubt. A guidance to those who guard. I'm talking about the Baqarah 2, chapter 2, verse 2. That is the book that has no doubt in it, and a guidance to those who guard. And that book is referred with all the 18 prophets, including Jesus, including Moses, including Noah, Abraham, Ismail, Isaac, and all of Lut. Everybody got the book. And we, mankind, have got the same book. No change of a dot. The message is there in front of you, the book is there, and it is mentioned the book was given to all the prophets. So now on the day of judgment, well, mankind will be there. We see which book God will judge. 39, Surah, 69 verse, and 70 I will read. وَأَشَّقَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا وَوُضِيَ الْكِتَابِ. وَأَشَّقَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا وَوُضِيَ الْكِتَابِ. It says, but the earth will shine with the glory of his Lord, and the book will be placed. Al-Kitab, the book will be placed. وَجِيَ بِالنَّبِيِّينَ, and the prophets will be brought forward. Nabiin, the prophets, because the prophets were given the book, because they taught the same book. So the prophets are brought forward. When Nabiin was Shoda, and the witnesses, the person who is a witness of the same book, they will be brought forward. وَقُضِيَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ, and a judge decision will be pronounced between them, and they will not be wronged in the least. Now, God's book and his book was preached by all the prophets, not a change of a dot. Now, you read it, you can see it, and on the day of judgment, God is putting the same book and is bringing the prophets who preach the same book. And the judgment will be pronounced among the people because if you are preaching another book, there are many schools of thought, reading many books, but God is putting the book, his own book. And he's asking that all the prophets will be brought forward. So you judge whether true or false. The prophets, this is on the day of judgment also. The book is written there. And the earth will shine with the glory of his Lord, and the book will be placed, and the prophets and the witness will be brought forward, and a just decision pronounced between them, and they will not be wrong. And to every soul will be paid in full of the deeds of, and Allah knows best what they do. So their deeds or their actions will be based on which book. You see, you appear in an exam, you study for a specific book. The specific book, you have to answer from that specific book what you've been taught. Any specific book you have taken in the course, you have to study a book, you have to study it, and the exam is taken from the same book. Now God has sent a book to mankind, a guidance for mankind, to give it to all the prophets. The same book, he doesn't change, an iota of a dot is not changed of the Quran, and it is memorized by the mankind of different nationalities of the world. Without knowing a word of it, they have memorized it all over the world. It is there. But if you understand, and if you want to appear in the exams on the day of judgment, this book will be brought forward. And you have to understand what answer I have to give. So my answer should be according to the ayahs, to the books of God. If I read any other book, an answer from that book will be my own interpretation of the book. So same you have to do with the other books, what you teach in schools and colleges and universities. What you are taught from a book, you have to answer from the same book. The more near to the textbook you are, you get A grades. Similarly, you get grades here. The book on the day of judgment will be placed, the prophets will be brought forward, the witnesses will be brought forward, and a just pronounced decision will be made on the basis what book you were believing in, what book you were practicing, and how you were practicing. So the same book. And if suppose still there is a doubt, so there is one more verse I would end then. 46 chapter Aqaf and 4 verse. قُلْ أَرَيْتُمْ مَا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَرُونِي مَاذَا خَلَقُوا مِنَ الْأَرْضِ أَمْ لَهُمْ شِرْكٌ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ إِيتُونِي بِكِتَابٍ مِنْ قَبْلِ هَذَا أَوْ أَثَارَةٍ مِنْ عِلْمٍ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Do you see what it is you invoke besides God? Whatever you are calling besides Allah, whom you are calling besides Allah, God says, show me what they have created in the earth. What they have created in the earth. Because you are listening to somebody in the world who has taught you something about religion. So Allah said, do you see what you invoke besides God? Show me what they have created in the earth. Or have they share in the skies? They have a share in the skies? Bring me a book. God says, bring me a book. Reveal before this. Reveal before this book. Bring me a book before this book. Or any remnants of knowledge if you are speaking the truth. If there is a book before this book, God says, bring that book. It's referring to his own book. So, he says, Eetuni bi kitab, come with a book. Eetuni bi kitab, come with a book. Min qabli hada, before this. Aw atharatin min ilmin. Or asar means remnants or effects of knowledge if you are speaking the truth. How can God's book, any man can write any book before God's book? So he has revealed the same book. It is revealed again and again. Revealed again and again. Unveiled again and again to the prophets and to the scholars and to people. But it has to be the same. You don't have to bring a new religion or a new book or a new thing. It has to be the same. This is the same I'm referring to. At this moment I referred 3 verses referring to, explaining to the prophets, all the prophets. There, in the Bible there are, I think, I'm not wrong, 144 prophets or something like that, I don't know. But in the Quran there are 19 prophets by name. 18 here and 1 more. And 20 Muhammad is the seal of the prophets. So all these are covered and the book is the same. All of them got the same book, and by name he said it. By name. And so on the day of judgment, he said the book will be brought forward, and the prophets will be brought forward, and the just decision will be made. And still you are doubt, he said, come with a book before this book. If you are speaking the truth, come with a book. So these are the challenges, and if we believe this is the book of God before, this Bible, I've got 2 verses of the Bible also. It doesn't say that this book, first of all, the Bible is not, the word Bible is not in the Bible. Like Quran word is an Arabic word, is in the Quran. Kitab word is in the Kitab in Arabic. The Bible word is not in the Bible. And the Quran, there is no statement in the whole Bible that Torah, God revealed the Torah, or God revealed the Gospel, or it's the Gospel according to Mark, Gospel according to Matthew, Gospel according to Luke and John. It does nowhere God says, this is my book. This is, I revealed it. That he said in the Quran, we gave Moses the book. We gave all the prophets the book. Somebody giving the book to somebody. There's not any verse in the Bible. This book was given to Jesus, to Moses, it is the Gospel according to Mark, Matthew, Luke and John. They are telling us that Jesus preached the Gospel. And the first book, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers and Deuteronomy, people assume that this is Pentateuch, the five books, and this is Torah. The Quran in Quran says, "Inna anzalna Torah fiha hudan wa nur." Surely we have revealed the Torah. Surely we have revealed the Torah, in it is guidance, and the prophets judge by it. The prophets in plural. So again, the Torah is revealed by God Almighty, not in the Bible. I'm repeating.